I want to start, John, with the AMD. That stock, that story really got my attention. It's down 16.5% today. I mean, this was one of the darling tech stocks, the chip names that were really riding the AI wave here, and it's at its worst day since 2017. The stock's up 70% over the trailing 12 months, but taking a big hit today. So let's figure out what's going on in that part of the world. Kunjan Sobhani joins us, senior analyst covering the semiconductor companies, Bloomberg Intelligence. He's based in our Los Angeles office. Kunjan, is this an overreaction for AMD, or is there something fundamentally problematic there?
There was nothing fundamentally wrong in this report. There were a lot of good things to take away, but it comes down to, when you become an AI darling, you set up really, really high expectations. And when you take out the China revenue, which was not included in the guidance and the expectations, the beat came out pretty modest, which I guess people didn't like and was not at par against the really high expectations that you have now every quarter from these companies.
Like they used to ask in the old Westerns, is there room enough for the two of us in this town? Is there room enough for them and NVIDIA?
There is right now. I mean, look, the tide is lifting all boats. There is so much demand for accelerator chips that there's room for AMD as a GPU provider. There's even room for other folks like Broadcom and Marvell as an ASIC provider. So there's plenty of demand right now.
I used to work for a portfolio manager, and, one of our natives, I was recommending AMD, and it had a day like today. He would just pop his head in and said, do we like management? Do we still like management? And if the answer was yes, oftentimes he'd go out and buy more on days like today. Do we like management? Lisa Su, I think, is just, whenever I just see her interviewed, she seems super on top of it.
Yeah, I mean, like I said, fundamentally, nothing changed from yesterday, right? Their CPU story continues to become stronger. Nobody's paying attention to it right now because all the focus is on GPU and competing with NVIDIA. But people are forgetting inherently, when you look at 2 years back, this was really a CPU company. Their GPU storyline remains intact. We didn't expect any fireworks coming into this earnings. We don't expect it until really 4Q of 2026. So the market is aware of this. We really have to wait until the 4Q 2026. This is when they will be really put to test if they can really execute their first server level solution or not. So there's nothing changed overnight yesterday that we saw should really concern us.
And how important is China in all this? I thought the export restrictions were lifted. I mean, what's taking so long?
Well, the export restrictions are different for each chip. So the MI308, which they were able to ship, had already licenses approved prior. So that's a different chip. The newer chips that now is in the news when it comes to NVIDIA is their H200s, and equivalent, it will be the MI325. Licenses for those have not been granted yet, even though the White House has said that, yes, these companies can start shipping these products yet. The formal licenses have not been granted.
Kunjan, some M&A in your space today. Texas Instruments has reached an agreement to buy Silicon Laboratories for about $7.5 billion here. What's going on here with TI?
Yeah, so just to give some context, this is sort of this size of the deal they have not done in the past. The last time they did a deal like this was buying National for about $6-7 billion in 2011. So this is not their typical nature. So a bit of a surprise. Strategically, it fits well. Their industrial segment, which is their largest segment, and that's where they want to be focused, has a missing piece when it comes to wireless connectivity in IoT. So Silicon Lab gives them that portfolio. Financially, however, it's a lot more important. They have reiterated that this does not change their free cash flow trajectory. This does not change their dividend path. And this does not increase. The most important thing is the CapEx. So all those things we really like. If they're able to execute to that, get the cost synergies, then this will be a really good deal for them. Also, remember, TI has been on a spending spree for the last 3 to 5 years, building up a lot of capacity. So this will help bring more loading to their internal factories and bring more manufacturing internal to own TI and help with utilization.
One of the themes we saw in the sell-off today and yesterday was this CapEx spending, when it's all going to be paying off, investors getting a little impatient with everything. Is it all paying off immediately or in the near future for all these firms?
Well, so there's two pieces of CapEx spending, right? The one I think you're referring to is the high AI
well,
CapEx
for everybody,
spending.
yeah.
Yeah, it's the jury is not out yet, right? We still need to see monetization. The capex spending is not done yet, so we still need to see a lot more proof points of monetization from all of this AI hyperscale infrastructure spending that's been going on.
All right, Qualcomm.
It's definitely been paying off for the chip companies, though.
Yeah, absolutely. All right, Qualcomm, the biggest maker of smartphone processors, will deliver its first quarter report on Wednesday afternoon today, offering insight into the impact of rising component prices on demand for mobile phones. What do you expect to hear from Qualcomm today?
Yeah, I mean, so far from what we have seen, yes, some industry analysts have reduced their unit expectations for 2026. Now folks are calling for the handset unit market, which is the phone market, to decline mid-single digits this year. We don't expect in the near term, which is the guide, the report and the guide today, Qualcomm to say anything negative. Remember, they have had this year a few of the premium Android launches ahead of what they have usually this time of the year. So that should really protect and benefit them for the near term. The concern is about the implied outlook of the June quarter because of these upfront launches, and if the memory prices do impact the handset unit volume projections for the second half, this is where the trough for them, which generally is a trough quarter, could be really negative. Also remember, since the start of this year, because of this memory price noise, this company, and also remember the upcoming Apple loss headwind this year, which will be in multi-billion-dollar of revenue loss this year. The company has had a lot of negative sentiment, and you can see that in the stock since the start of January.
Absolutely. Today, the stock's up 1.6%, but down about 12.5% year to date. Kunjan, thanks so much. When you're busy with all the M&A out there, earnings, all that kind of stuff. Kunjan Sobhani, he's a senior analyst covering the semiconductor space for Bloomberg Intelligence. He's based right out there in San Francisco, right in Silicon Valley, where all the action is taking place, where a lot of the companies are domiciled there, so right in the middle of it, which is kind of what we like. Look at